Hi, it's Jesse Zeman, Executive Director, BC Wildlife Federation. Quick update related to the hunting regulations changes for 2022 put forward by the province yesterday. Everybody's been asking, why isn't the limited entry hunting draw out? This is exactly why, because we were waiting on a decision from the province related to these hunting regulation proposals. So let's start with the big one. Peace region hunting regulation changes. So let's keep in mind that this is 22% of the province, the size of a small country. What preempted all of this was a court case related to the Blueberry First Nations, where essentially the courts found that the province has nuked the landscape in Blueberry's traditional territory. And what they said is that it has impaired their treaty rights to hunt, fish, and trap unimpaired. And so that is an important distinction, because the courts essentially said cumulative effects are your problem, oil and gas, forestry, things like Site C are the issue on the landscape, and instead of dealing with those right out of the gates, the province has gone after hunting regulations. Now, it's really important to distinguish between areas where there's cumulative effects in that region and where there are not. We have huge swaths of remote land, places like the Musqueam, which is, up to 17,000 square kilometers of land, where there are no cumulative effects. And the province's proposal focused right in on the entire Peace region. So we've gone from deal with cumulative effects to the province putting a proposal that says we're going to make a blanket approach for an entire region of the province, including some of the most remote parts of British Columbia and the most remote parts of North America, where there are no cumulative effects. So, caribou closed. Sustainable caribou populations in areas where there are no cumulative effects inside the Musqueam closed to license hunting. The traditional or the historical resident hunter harvest was about 17 caribou per year, which quite frankly is decimal dust in the grand scheme of things. So this is optics, not science. The moose changes. What we've seen is we've gone from general open season to LEH. The province did move in the remote parts, and they do have a bit of an open season, which was a great move, where we have a spike fork 10-point tri-palm regulation through a GOS. The other piece we have outside of that in areas where there are cumulative effects is we do have LEH now with two-day general open seasons. Now, you're going to ask, why do we have two-day general open seasons? To be quite honest, that is to keep people who don't live in the Peace out of the Peace. So that hunting season is for people that live up there, because the province does not want people from outside of that area traveling up there and going hunting. There is a major concern about discrimination related to where you live on those seasons that we will be following up on. The last piece around that is Caribou Recovery. As the scientists have told us for years, if you're going to do caribou recovery, you should be managing wolves and managing moose. And in a number of areas up in the Liard, we are managing wolves intensively through helicopter removal, and we have moved away from managing moose. So people who study caribou and are trying to support caribou recovery have been left scratching their head on this one, going, we have science, we should be implementing science, and we have the province backing away from science on this case. And of course, those are with endangered caribou. On that issue, we are going to get a lot of questions and a lot of comments, and we're looking to hear from our membership in terms of what you think we should do. We will advise you that we have been engaging legal counsel, and we have been engaged with them for months, and we are taking on and looking at all options moving forward. The other one that's of significant concern is that the province has moved from general open season to LEH in the Kootenay region for bighorn sheep. We hosted a webinar with Dr. Marco Festa-Bianchit a couple of months ago on the province's proposal, and then on his perspective of what's going on up there. Again, one of the best experts in North America in terms of sheep ecology. Certainly his findings were not consistent with the proposal that's been put forward. The province decided to move forward to go to limited entry hunting in the Kootenay region, which means for the people who like to go sheep hunting or would like to go sheep hunting, statistically, you're probably never going to get that draw. That's the most likely outcome. Another part that is of serious, tremendous concern for us is that the province has decided that the allocated split in that area between guide outfitters and resident hunters will be a 60-40 split, which under LEH is completely unheard of. So what we're going to find is that the number of resident hunters who get to go sheep hunting are probably going to be cut by 70 to 80% in that area, and statistically through LEH, chances are you're never going to get a draw. So for sheep hunters down in Region 4, to be quite honest, you're pretty much done. And the province is doing a thin horn sheep review as well. So it would not at all surprise us at the BC Wildlife Federation if we see a proposal to move to limited entry for thin horn hunts in the north. And given this allocation of 60-40, I mean, we are living in a world where it is very clear that the province's interest in supporting resident hunting is very low on this issue. The other piece of this is one place that we had flagged is Mount Assiniboine. The province's own policy says that you need to have 75 observed sheep in a sheep population. Mount Assiniboine is a remote sheep population that is not connected to other sheep populations. It has been under 45 sheep for over 5 or 6 years. There is low to no resident utilization, yet the province continues to keep this hunt open. So there's a major concern between sheep conservation and science and what the province is doing in allowing this hunt to continue to be open. They have their own policy guidance that said this should have been closed years ago, and they're refusing to do it. And I can tell you it's not because it's a high use area for resident hunters. So major concerns in Region 4, per the usual: record low mule deer, record low moose, no caribou in the southern part of the Selkirks. We have elk that are in decline, we have goats that are in decline, we have sheep that are in decline, and we have sheep that are being run over on highways on a daily basis. And the ministry's response is, let's change the hunting regulations. So for all the people that are interested in sheep and sheep hunting, we do expect that the province will continue to push this button and walk it across the landscape, and that thin horn sheep will be next. The other one that did come out yesterday and that we saw on social media was around Haida Gwaii and deer hunting up there. Deer hunting is not closed in Haida Gwaii. It continues to be open, but what has come out is that permits to accompany, so for Canadian residents to go hunting there, that is no longer allowed. Again, we have a major discontinuity between science and between what the province is doing, because we know that these black-tailed deer are not a native species to Haida Gwaii. They're invasive. In fact, Parks Canada has spent millions of dollars trying to eradicate them on the south end of Haida Gwaii. So here we have the federal government paying millions of dollars to bring in sharpshooters to get rid of these invasive non-native deer, and the province on the other hand saying we don't want people coming hunting here. So overall, the message today is science is not at the forefront of it. I have fielded a number of phone calls from wildlife biologists, researchers, and scientists going, why did we go to school to learn all this stuff to try to give elected officials decision-making tools when they don't listen to us? It's been a sad day for wildlife management and science-based wildlife management in British Columbia. We will pick this up next week. I hope you all have a good weekend. If you're feeling really bent out of shape, which we are here, I would highly recommend that you pick up a pen and a paper and you get a hold of the Premier and you let them know how frustrated you are. I hope you can enjoy your long weekend. We will all be thinking about this as we go out and vacation and go fishing and hunting and camping, and we will definitely be pursuing this next week. So in the comments, please let us know what you as our membership would like to see us do and what you can do to help. Have a great weekend.